योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं यं गुरुं हि स्वयं सत्यः प्रज्ञाभक्तिविनीतयः दीप्तिश्चाभिवृता नित्यं तं गुरुं प्रणमाम्यहम् सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. Start from verse 23. सहस्राण्डभोक्ता त्वया शूरनामा हतस्तारकः सिंहवक्त्रश्च दैत्यः ममान्तर्हृदि स्थं मनः क्लेशमेकम् न हंसि प्रभो किं करोमि क्वयामि अहं सर्वदा दुःखभारावसन्नः भवान् दीनबन्धुस्त्वदन्यं न याचे भवद्भक्तिरोधं सदा क्लृप्तबाधं ममाधिं द्रुतं नाशयो मासु तत्त्वम्. अपस्मारगुष्टक्षयार्षः प्रमेहज्वरोन्मादगुल्मादि रोगामहान्तः पिशाचाश्च सर्वे भवत्पत्रभूतिं विलोक्य क्षणात् तारकारे द्रवन्ते दृशिस्कन्दमूर्तिश्रुतौ स्कन्दकीर्तिः मुखे मे पवित्रं सदा तच्चरित्रं करे तस्य कृत्यं वपुस्तस्य भृत्यं भुवे सन्तु लीना ममाशेषभावाः मुनीनामुदाहो नृणां भक्तिभाजाम् अभीष्टप्रदाः सन्ति सर्वत्र देवाः नृणामन्त्यजानामपि स्वार्थदाने गुहाद्देवमन्यं न जाने न जाने. So you heard up to this. Guhad devamanyam najane najane. So I do not know of any devata other than Subrahmanya. So in what sense? So he says antejanam api swarthadane. So ante bhavaha antyaha. So ante bhavaha means in the strata of classification in the society, ante bhavaha antyaha. So antejanam means those who are born even in the lower strata. So Subrahmanya gave himself. Okay? So it is in that sense they say antejanam api swarthadane. He married. Guhad devamanyam najani najani. Okay? So having said that, next verse 28, which we will take up now. Kalatram suta bandhuvargah pashurva. Suta bandhuvargah pashurva. Kalatram suta bandhuvargah pashurva. Naro vathanari grihe madiyaha. Naro vathanari grihe madiyaha. Naro vathanari grihe madiyaha. Yajanto namantastuvanto bhavantam. Yajanto namantastuvanto bhavantam. Yajanto namantastuvanto bhavantam. Smarantascha te santu sarve kumara. Smarantascha te santu sarve kumara. Smarantascha te santu sarve kumara. Kumara is the addressing word for Subrahmanya. Hey Kumara. Te evam santu. See, evam santu means may they be like this. May they be like this. Who? Like what? This is what has to be told. So here he begins with a list. Kalatram Suta Bandhu Vargaha Pashurva Narova Athanari. See, in families, so sometimes this happens, I have seen. So one fellow is interested in one thing, the other fellows are not interested in that thing. If this fellow does that, the other fellow gets annoyed. Understand? It's a major problem. So he wants to do puja, she doesn't want to do puja. He wants to do puja, he doesn't want to do puja. So he wants to chant stotra, the fellow says, son says, no, it is disturbing to me. So this is a problem that happens in some families I have seen. So here, therefore, the prarthana is kalatram. Kalatram. The word kalatram in Sanskrit should be translated as spouse in English. So it can be either way. The husband can be referred as kalatram by the wife. Wife can be referred as kalatram by the husband. So here kalatram Suta Bandhu Vargaha. So children. Bandhu Vargaha. So assume that it is a joint family. Bandhu Vargaha. Pashurva. Recently, I heard a couple of cases. So they too are not aligned. The interests are not aligned. So they had to separate. So therefore he is saying, Kalatram Suta Bandhu Vargah Pashurva Naro Vathanari Grihe Ye Madiyaha. So Narova Athanari. So even other people, okay, Narova Nariva, those who are there in my residence. Understand? Madiyaha Grihe Ye Madiyaha Vartante. Madiyaha means those who are connected with me. Ye Madiyaha Vartante. Kalatramba, Sutava, Bandhuvargova. So all of them, he says, Yajanto namantastu vanto bhavantam smarantascha te santu sarve kumara. May all of them have interest in doing these activities. Which activities? Yajanto namantaha stuvantaha. So there are 3 activities which are listed here. So yajantaha means, suppose some ahuti is done, sometimes Subrahmanya ahvana homa may be done. If that is done, may they come and participate in that. In fact, recently that happened. So someone is performing a special event. This is called Bhimaratha Shanti. Bhimaratha Shanti. So 70-year completion, just around that time they do. Now the conflict was to the level that this person does, wife doesn't participate. Understand? My mother told, I went to that function and I asked, so there is some conflict. Understand? So this is where the problem is. So that's why he is just saying, may the interest be aligned. In my own house, I know. My grandfather wanted to always read Vedanta. So when he reads aloud. Just his practice. He reads aloud. He reads so aloud. Of course, it was a big house. Okay, so he will read and outside he will sit. So once Śaṅkara-Acharya was saying that if your grandfather reads on the other bank of Tunga, I will hear from this bank of Tunga. Okay, that is the enthusiasm with which he will read. Anyway, so even if somebody comes, you will just make him sit, I will read, you listen. Some people want to escape. Anyway, so he felt that the Vedanta samskara has to be inducted into people. Okay, that was the idea. So therefore, he is saying, Narova atha nari griheye madiyaha. So those who come to my place, Narova, Nadiva, whoever it is. Okay. So may all of them. In fact, there is an interesting verse. This Narayana Bhattatiri has written something called Narayaniyam, you know. In Narayaniyam, he says, my brother is mispropagating. He says, Papoyam Krishna Rametyabhilapati nijam guhitum duschalitram nillajjasyasya vacha bahutara kathani yani me vignitani. He says, my brother, my own brother, Papoyam describes me as a sinner. Okay? And now he is doing all sorts of bhajans, nama sankirtana, only to hide the papas that he has done. Understand? Papoyam Krishna Rametyabhilapati nijam guhitum duschalitram and nirlajjasyasya vacha. Nirlajja means shameless fellow. Why is he called shameless? He is called shameless because I am telling my activities are disturbed by your activity. Stop it. But that fellow does not listen. Okay? Nirlajjasyasya vacha bahutara kathaniyani me vignitani bhrata me vandhyashilaha. They further say, vandhyashilaha is an interesting usage. Vandhyashila means, Shila means one who has a certain proclivity to do something. Okay? Dayashilaha, when you say compassion, okay, is something which flows out of him, it is his proclivity. So Vandhyashilaha, Vandhya means a futile activity. Vandhyashilaha means one who is inclined towards performing activities which are futile. So this bhajanam is a useless activity. That is what his idea is. Bhratame vandhyashilaha bhajati kila sada Vishnu mitham budham ste. So the prarthana of Narayana Bhattatiri is, okay, may you never ever in any of the janma make my thought along the lines of the thought of my brother. So this is the prarthana with which he ends. Anyway, so that is why he is praying here. The prayer is let all people have a certain attitude by which they are participating in the various activities. So whether it is yajanam, yajanto, namantaha. Namantaha means doing namaskara. Yajanto namantaha stuvanto bhavantam. See, stavanam means praising. So this stotra, whether it is stotra vachanam, whether it is namaskara, whether it is archana, other forms of worship. Smarantascha te santu sarve kumara. Smarantaha. So this is something which has to do with a profound philosophy. So smaranam. The smaranam does not require any other paraphernalia. You can always think. So when a certain success is achieved by you, you can think, oh, it is the grace of Ishvara that I got success. When you meet with some failure, oh, it is his own chitta, it is okay. So you just do smaranam of Ishvara. So smaranam all the time. at the beginning of the activity, at the end of the activity, even somewhere in between the activity. So yajanto namantaha stuvanto bhavantam. This smaranam can be of various types. It can be yajanam, it can be. So suppose some havana is happening, but a lot of service may be required. You go and render service. Okay? That is equivalent to participation in yaga. Okay? So yajantaha namantaha. See, namantaha essentially means having a certain humility, humble attitude. So whatever happens is prasada of Ishvara. So mai sarvani karmani sanyasya adhyatma chetasa nirashir nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigata jvaraha. Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya. So all the activities, sarvani karmani mai sanyasya. Mai sanyasya means leaving it to me. Leaving it to me essentially means as a phaladata. Understand? So the outcome of a certain activity is not completely left to you. So many factors have to be coming together. The stars have to align. Then only it will happen. Therefore, mai sanyasya. This mai sanyasya is demonstrated by a certain physical activity. So stavanam, may it happen well, you leave it to him. Namantaha. Okay. So you have that humble attitude. So then nirashihi nirmamo bhutva. So essentially that is what is being stated here. This problem in the family is mamatvam, ahantvam and mamatvam. Others have to listen to me. Everybody feels, how will it work? So others have to listen to me. Therefore, nirmamatvam. So nirmamatvam, so if you just leave it, everyone leaves it to Ishvara, then there is no problem. So therefore he is saying, yajanto namantastu vanto bhavantam smarantascha te santu sarve kumara. So this is how he just makes his prayer so that there are no internal conflicts. So if there are internal conflicts, then none of the activities will be fructifying. Okay? So there will be a problem. Okay, this word, in fact, kalatram, there is a nice usage by Kalidasa. So he describes Megha as Vidyut Kalatram. See, Vidyut Kalatram. In Meghaduta, Vidyut Kalatram means Vidyut Kalatram Yasya Saha. Understand? So Megha's wife is lightning. Khinna Vidyut Kalatram. So here, that is Khinna Vidyut Kalatraha. Okay, this Meghaha will be Khinna Vidyut Kalatraha because it is a Pullinga Shabda. Okay. So in fact, one can say, suppose you want to describe Sita, then Ramakalatra Sita. Ramakalatra Sita. Sita Kalatro Rama. So that is how you can use. Okay, so this is done. Now we move on to the next verse. Now read this. Kalatram Suta Bandhu Vargah Pashurva Naro Vathanadi Grihe Madiyah Yajanto Namantastuvanto Bhavantam Smarantascha Te Santu Sarve Kumara. See, Karthik may be interested. This is an interesting verse in Meghaduta. See that Vidyut Kalatraha, Khinna Vidyut Kalatraha, having said that, there is an Arthantaranyasa. He uses Mandahayante Nakhalu Suhurdaha. Suhridaha, no? Nandayante nakalu suhridam abhyupetarthakrityaha. Mandayan, there is a nice message Kalidasa in between gives. So many verses will have a powerful message. So here in the context of describing the Megha, he says, "O Megha, so you go and take rest in this place." So then he says, the next day morning you get up and then you start your journey. So don't rest there forever. So in that context he says, Mandayante nakalu suhridam abhyupetartha krityaha. Mandayante means postponing or procrastinating, delaying essentially. Mandayante nakhalu suhridam abhyupetartha krityaha. So if you have accepted to do something for your friend, that should never be delayed. That is the message. Suhridam abhyupetartha krityaha. See, abhyupeta artha krityaha. Mandayante nakhalu suhridam abhyupetartha krityaha. It's a powerful message that he conveys through this. Okay, now we move on to the next verse. Mrigah pakshinodam shakaye cha dushtaha. Mrigah pakshinodam shakaye cha dushtaha. Mrigah pakshinodam shakaye cha dushtaha. Tatha vyadhayaha. तथा व्याधयः बाधकाये मदङ्गे भवच्छक्ति तीक्ष्णाग्र भिन्नाः सुदूरे विनश्यन्तु ते चूर्णितक्रौञ्चशैला. So here Subrahmanya is described by the phrase Churnita Krauncha Shaila. Krauncha is the name of a mountain. So Churnita Krauncha Shaila. See, Shaila is mountain, Krauncha is the name. Okay? So Krauncha iti Shailaha, Krauncha Shailaha. So Churnitaha Krauncha Shailaha Yena. Okay? So this Churnita means that which has been pounded. So Subrahmanya is supposed to have pounded, the mountain. Therefore he is described as Churnita Krauncha Shaila. Before that he says Mrigaha Pakshinaha. In fact, this is an Alankara. This Alankara, if you try to address a particular person by a particular epithet, so then parikara sabhipraye visheshyetu bhavet parikarankuraha. Sabhipraye visheshyetu bhavet parikarankuraha. Chaturnam purusharthanam data devas. So this is one thing. This is the basic parikara, alankara of parikaraha, sabhipraye visheshane, chaturnam purusharthanam data devas chaturpujaha. So one of this, anyway, so this is, if the visheshya is stated with a specific intention to be conveyed. So here the intention that is conveyed is, there are so many things which are affecting me. If you possess a certain ayudha which can even pound such a huge mountain, then what is there for them to pound the kind of things which are pounding me? Okay, so this is what he is just saying. Mrigaha, pakshinaha, damshakaha, ye cha dushtaha, tatha vyadhayaha, badhakaha ye madange. Okay, tatha vyadhayo badhaka ye madange. अलंकार साभिप्राये विशेष्ये तु भवेत् परिकराङ्कुरः जितोऽसि मन्दकन्दर्प मच्चित्ते अस्ति त्रिलोचनः. I think that is what it is. Okay, so जितोऽसि मन्दकन्दर्प मच्चित्ते अस्ति त्रिलोचनः. So here, so jitosi, the person says, you have been won over by me. Who? Manda Kandarpa. Hey, Manda Kandarpa. So Kandarpa is Manmatha. Okay. He is just saying, so Trilochanaha Machitte Asti. So Shiva is in my heart. So Shiva who actually finished. Understand? Shiva who actually finished Kandarpa, he is there in my heart, and therefore you cannot play with me. So if you try to play with me, you will be finished. Okay. So similarly, so Churnita Krauncha Shaila. So this Churnita Krauncha Shaila, you are there. So these vyadhis that are there in me, they will be sort of pounded. Okay. So he says, Mrigaha. In those days, see, fear can be multifold. So people don't have, so this security, that security, all that will not be there. You will be staying, so sometimes Mriga can come and create some havoc. So I went to IIT Guwahati. In the guest house, as soon as I went, people cautioned me, so don't open your windows. So monkey will come and create havoc in your room. Okay. So Mrigaha. So in different places, different thing can do. So one of my friends had some farmhouse. So outskirts of Coimbatore. So he said he had been out for a couple of days. Elephant came and created havoc. Okay, the fence was destroyed. Okay, all things happened. So Mrigaha. Okay. So there is another person whom I know. He had a nice house built. Okay. So he was not there. So in the railing, some glasses were put. Okay. Due to expansion and contraction, the glasses fell down. Understand? So the glasses fell down and it was all over. So he was not there, so he was lucky. So various kinds of things can happen. Mrigav, Pakshinaha, Damshakaha, Yecha Dushtaha. He generally says, Tatha Vyadhayaha. So Vyadhayaha. So there are so many Vyadhis. Vyadhisthana Samshaya Pramadadasya Virati. Bolo. Bhranti darshana alabdha bhumikatva anavasthitattvani chitta vikshepa. So many kinds of problems. Tatha vyadhayo badhaka ye madange. See, madange ye badhakaha. So vyadhis can be of various types in the body. So diabetes may be there, this may be there, that may be there, back pain may be there, headache may be there. All kinds of problems. This is physical problem. Other badhakaha ye madange. This chitta vikshepa. The worst badhaka. So never having positive attitude. Always thinking negative. What do we do? So this is badhaka. Okay. Tatha vyadhayo badhaka ye madange. So in my sharira, so this ange, so this buddhi is also a part of this. Okay, anga. Tatha vyadhayo badhaka ye madange. So those which are on my way to progress, on my way to welfare, may all those obstacles be shattered by you. Okay. Mrigah pakshino damshaka. Damshaka is something which bites. So it can be mosquito, it can even be serpent. Okay. Damshaka ye chadushtaha tatha vyadhayo badhaka ye madange. He says, bhavat shakti tikshnagra bhinna. The shakti here refers to that whatever we call as veil in Tamil. Okay. So bhavat shakti tasya tikshnagra. Tikshnagra. So tikshnaha agraha. Tikshnagraha. Okay, Shaktehe Tikshnagraha. So Shakti Tikshnagrena Bhinnaha. Okay, shattered by that sharp tip of the spear. May all of them get shattered. Okay. Bhavat Shakti Tikshnagra Bhinnaha Sudure. Sudure de Vinashyantu. At a far off distance means let them not come to me and then get trashed, but at a distance itself may they be destroyed. Bhavat Shakti Tikshnagra Bhinna Sudure Vinashyantu Te Churnitakramuncha Shaila. Sudure, at a far off distance, may they be finished. Okay, read this. Mrigah pakshino damshakaye cha dushtaha tatha vyadhayo badhakaye madange bhavat shakti tikshnagra bhinna sudure vinashyantu te churnitakramuncha shila. See, this badhakaye madange, see, I am reminded. So this when you are not lucky enough, okay, so then, so there is one person I know, recently I came to know. It was such a tragedy that he earned a lot of money and then he went to his hometown, purchased a big plot. So he wanted to build a house for himself. Build a house for himself. So to settle there. One of his visits, he goes there. The house is about to be finished in 3 months. So cleaning, etc. is happening. This fellow is there. That he is there, they don't know. Okay? As he was walking around, so looking at the completion of the work. So from the top, these fellows put something. The rubble cement blocks will be there, no? Thanak they put. Fellow's head broke. Broke, but he survived. So I was told that they have spent around 15 lakhs till now. Prajna is not there. He cannot speak. For several years, the wife is doing seva. So when Bhavat Shakti Tikshnagra Bhinna Sudure Badhaka Ye Madange, we don't know. So these are all things, that is why we pray to Ishvara. Okay, next. Janitri Pita Cha Swaputra Paradham. Janitri Pita Cha Swaputra Paradham. Janitri Pita Cha Swaputra Paradham. Sahete Nakim Devasena Adhinatha. Sahete Nakim Devasena Adhinatha. Sahete Nakim Devasena Adhinatha. Ahanchati Valo Bhavan Lokatataha. Ahanchati Valo Bhavan Lokatataha. Ahanchati Valo Bhavan Lokatataha. Kshamasva Paradham Samastam Mahesha. Kshamasvaparadham samastam mahesha. Kshamasvaparadham samastam mahesha. Aparadhaha. Aparadhaha basically means an act which is not to be performed when it is performed and which results in hurting others. So causing some disruption. This is aparadha. In this normally aparadha sahasrani kriyante aharnisham maya. Okay, we don't know. So aparadha sahasrani, he just says, thousands of aparadhas. So we inadvertently commit certain things which are likely to hurt others. Okay? So we inadvertently keep our foot, something gets crushed. So there are so many ways in which this aparadha, himsa for others, is created. Kshamasvaparadham samastam mahesha. Kshamasva aparadham. So may all the aparadhas. In fact, this Rama, see, aparadha, apakara. Okay, aparadha, apakara. It's also like that. The Rama, when they describe him, nasmaratyapakaranam shatamapyatmavataya kathanchid upakarena kritenaikena tushyati. What he says. Even if consciously done, okay, nasmarati. See, Rama does not keep that in mind. Nasmaratyapakaranam, not once, shatamapi. Atmavattaya. Atmavattaya means as if it is committed by. See, people, I have seen this. A small thing that which he feels should not have been done would ever be remembered. How many such things you would have done for the other fellow? Do you remember any of them? Okay. When you do something, you never remember. When the other fellow does something and it hurts you, you ever remember. Ever remember. This never remember and ever remember. So this has to be reversed. Okay. That is what Rama's guna is. Nasmaratyapakaranam shatamapyatmavattaya kathanchid upakarena kritenaikena tushyati. Okay. With one upakara, he will be happy. Now the same plea is done to Subrahmanya. Janitri pitache. He gives an example. Okay. He gives an example to convince Subrahmanya that you have to necessarily forgive me for all the aparadhas. Okay. So there he says Janitri pitache. Janitri means mother. Pita, father. Okay. So mother and father. The child commits all sorts of mistakes. So up to some age, maybe 5, 6, etc. So we have to necessarily fondle the child, whether it kicks, whether it does, whatever it is. But beyond certain stage, so child tries to learn certain things, how to conduct, etc. Even if the child does not conduct properly, in spite of repeatedly telling, commits mistakes. Okay. So even if they become mature, okay, 25, 30, they do certain wrong things. In fact, I went to my village recently. So there, so this fellow, one fellow, okay, so he will just drink, not work. Neighbor. So some housemaid servant kind of thing. So it was given, and that fellow, I have seen him several times. So I try to also engage and then try to coax this fellow various things for working. He will say yes, but he will not do. And Janitri Pitacha. In spite of all this, so he'll just take many drink and then lie down, watch TV. So mother and father, they work. They are 65, 70, 75, something like that. They keep working hard, earning some money. This fellow is like this. Okay, this Swabhava is like this. So that's why he is saying Janitri Pita Cha Swaputra Paradham. That fellow who is healthy, he is supposed to work and help parents. Now he is acting as a burden to the parents. Even then, the parents don't leave. Okay, so Putra Paradham Sahete Nakim. He is asking. Shankaracharya is asking, don't parents somehow so forgive all this and still tolerate this son? Similarly, he says, Bhavan Lokatataha. So you are the father of everybody. Okay. You see, Ahancha Atibalaha. Atibalaha. See, Atibalaha means so like a tender child. He says, consider me like that. So this is somehow not getting into the fellow's mind, right? So that is what they finally come to conclusion. Whatever we say, it doesn't happen. There's something it doesn't. So let us live. So similarly, here he prays to Subrahmanya. Hanchati bhalo bhavan lokatataha. So you are the father of everybody. Kshamasva paradham samastam mahesha. Aparadham sarvam samastam kshamasva. Kshamasva means you pray for forgiveness. So Janitri Pitacha Swaputra Paradham. So the mistakes committed by the children, as they are forgiven by the parents. Janitri Pitacha Swaputra Paradham Sahete Nakim. So don't they bear with that? Devasena Adhinatha. So this Devasena Adhinatha is the phrase which describes Subrahmanya here. Devasenayaha Adhinatha. So Devasena Adhinatha Bhavan Lokatataha. See, this is like this Parikara Alankara. Alankara of Parikaraha Sabhipraye Visheshane. So this Visheshana here is Lokatataha. Devasenadhinatha is the Visheshya. So you are Lokatata. So since you are so, you have to necessarily do this activity. Okay? Activity of forgiving and then lifting me up. Read this. Janitri Pita Cha Swaputra Paradham Sahede Nakim Devasena Adhinatha Ahanchati Balo Bhavan Lokatataha Kshamasva Paradham Samastam Mahesha Namah Kekine Shaktaye Chapitubhyam Namah Kekine Shaktaye Chapitubhyam Namah Kekine Shaktaye Chapitubhyam Namaschāgatubhyam Namah Kukkutaya Namaschāgatubhyam Namah Kukkutaya Namaschāgatubhyam Namah Kukkutaya Namah Sindhave Sindhudeshaya Tubhyam Namah Sindhave Sindhudeshaya Tubhyam Namah Sindhave Sindhudeshaya Tubhyam Punaskandamurte Namaste Namostu. Punaskandamurte namaste namostu. Punaskandamurte namaste namostu. Hey Skandamurte. So this is the addressing word. Te namaha. Punaha te namaha astu. So this is basically trying to offer one's venerations not only to the Murti but other entities associated with the Murti. Okay? So Namah Kekini. Do you understand what is Kekini? So this there is a word called Keka. Okay? This Keka has to do with the sound produced by peacock. Okay, the sound produced by peacock is described as Keka. It will not be very pleasant to listen. Okay, so this Keka Vani Mayurasya, they say. Okay, Keka Asya Asti iti Keki. Okay, so now this Namah Kekine. So I offer my salutations to. Okay. So the Vahana in which Subrahmanya goes. Namah Kekine. Then he says Shaktaye Namaha. So Shaktaye, so is that Ayudha that he possesses. So earlier also the word Shakti came. Bhavat Shakti Tikshnagra Bhinna Sudure. It's called Shakti Ayudham. So Bhav Namah Kekine Shaktaye Chapi. Then he says Chaga Tubhyam Namaha. So, Chaga. This Chaga actually means goat. पता है?
गांव में छागर बोलते हैं.
छागर बोलते हैं. वो हिंदी में?
नहीं, मैथिली में.
मैथिली में छागर. Okay. So this Chaga is referring to goat. Now, how is the goat connected with Subrahmanya? So this is also considered as a Vahana for Agni. So Agni Vahana is this. And Subrahmanya is born out of this Kartikeya. Okay, that is all considered as so born out of that Jwalas. Okay, so therefore one can assume that sometimes he takes the Vahana of his father. Okay, Namah Kekine Shaktaye Chapitubhyam Namaschaga. Okay, Tubhyam Namah Kukkutaya. Kukkuta is that hen, na? What is that they call?
Rooster.
Rooster. Okay. So this Kukkuta. Okay. So this Kukkuta is there in the flag, I think. In the flag of the Subrahmanya, that Kukkuta will be there. Anyway, that is also associated with Subrahmanya. So in this verse, so venerations and salutations are offered to all entities associated with Subrahmanya. Namah Kekine Shaktaye Chapitubhyam Namaschagatubhyam Namah Kukkutaya Namas Sindhave. You see, now Sindhu is Samudra. So he is there, Yathabdes Taranga. At the beginning he said, no. So he is there on the banks of Samudra. So therefore, Samudra is also associated. Namas Sindhave Sindhu Desha Yatubhyam. Okay, so that location as well as the ocean, to all of them I offer my salutations. Punaskandamurte Namaste Namostu. Read. Namah Kekine Shaktaye Chapitubhyam Namaschagatubhyam Namah Kukkutaya Namas Sindhave Sindhu Deshaya Tubhyam Punaskandamurte Namaste Namostu. Jayananda Bhuman Jayaparadhaman, Jayananda Bhuman Jayaparadhaman, Jayananda Bhuman Jayaparadhaman, Jayamogha Kirte Jayananda Murte, Jayamogha Kirte Jayananda Murte, Jayamogha Kirte Jayananda Murte, Jayananda Sindho Jayasesha Bandho, Jayananda Sindho Jayasesha Bandho, Jayananda Sindho Jayasesha Bandho, Jayatvam Sada Mukti Danesha Suno, Jayatvam Sada Mukti Danesha Suno, Jayatvam Sada Mukti Danesha Suno. So here he is described Jayananda Bhuman. The word Bhuma means something which is abundant, which is unlimited. So here Subrahmanya is described as an embodiment of bliss which is unlimited. Jayananda Bhuman. In fact, that is how Ishvara has to be. Okay. So if Ishvara is also not Ananda Bhuman, then how can he make you having Ananda? Okay. So he should possess Ananda in abundance. Jayananda Bhuman. Okay. Jayaparadhaman. Aparadhaman. See. So Aparadham. So this word Dhama has various meanings. Okay. So Dhama can also mean locus where one stays. Okay. So Aparadhaman. Okay. So Aparanam Gunanam Dhama, you can just say. Okay. One who is the locus of boundless virtues. Okay. Or the location in which he resides is also. So Jaya Apara means something which is highly majestic, exquisite, in various senses. Jayananda Bhuman Jayaparadhaman, Jayamogha Kirte, Amogha Kirtihi, Amogha Kirtihi. Okay, Amogha Kirte. So Kirti is fame. Okay. Amogha Kirtihi means at no point of time, okay, there has been any episode in which he was infamy. Okay. Jayamogha Kirte, Jayananda Murte. Ananda Murti. In fact, strictly speaking, we are also Ananda Dhaman, but we are not Ananda Murtis. Okay. So Jayananda Murte. Jayananda Sindho Jayashesha Bandho. So Ananda Sindhu. Sindhu means Samudra. So you are the ocean of joy. Jayananda Sindho. Finally he says Jayashesha Bandho. Ashesha Bandhu. Ashesha Bandhu means one who is relative of everyone. Okay. So no one is left behind. Jayashesha Bandho Jayatvam Sada Mukti Danesha Suno. He is described as Isha Sunu. Isha Sunu is further qualified by Mukti Dana. So one who can liberate you. O son of Parameshwara, who can bless me with this mukti. So may you be glorious always. Okay. Read this. Jayananda Bhuman Jayaparadhaman, Jayamogha Kirte, Jayananda Murte, Jayananda Sindho Jayashesha Bandho, Jayatvam Sada Mukti Danesha Suno. Now only Phalashruti. Bhujangakhyavrittena kliptam stavamyaha. Bhujangakhyavrittena kliptam stavamyaha. Bhujangakhyavrittena kliptam stavamyaha. Pathet bhakti yukto guham sampranamya. Bhakti yukto guham sampranamya. Pathet bhakti yukto guham sampranamya. Saputran kalatram dhanam dirghamayuhu. Saputran kalatram dhanam dirghamayuhu. Saputran kalatram dhanam dirghamayuhu. Labhet skanda sayujyamante narasaha. Labhet skanda sayujyamante narasaha. Labhet skanda sayujyamante narasaha. Saha naraha ante skanda sayujyam labhet. Skanda sayujyam labhet means he will go and merge with skanda. Okay? So he says bhujangakhyavrittena. Vritta refers to the metrical form. Okay? So this has been composed in a metrical form which is called bhujanga. Bhujanga akhya. Akhya means called. So the metrical form called bhujanga has been chosen to compose this. Bhujangakhyavrittena kliptam. Kliptam means composed, completed, done. Kliptam stavam. Stava is praise, is stotram. Bhujangakhyavrittena kliptam stavam. This stavam yaf pathet bhakti yuktaha. Okay? Not merely chanting, bhakti yuktaha, with great devotion and attention. If one reads guham sampranamya, then there are two pathas are there. So one is saputran, the other is suputran. Okay, saputran kalatram dhanam dirghamayuhu. So saputran, so putra may be there, but if that fellow is a useless fellow, it will be a burden. Okay, so like what I described earlier. Okay, the Tamil or பழமொழி உண்டு. Okay, தென்னம்பிள்ளை வளர்த்தாலும் வளர்க்கலாம், இந்த பிள்ளையை வளர்த்தேன். You understand? So தென்னம்பிள்ளை அணில் பிள்ளை. Okay, this is what they say. So தென்னம்பிள்ளை means basically coconut tree. If I had put efforts to grow coconut tree, that would have been some beneficial to me. This son I have grown. Okay, anyway, people say like this. So that is why he says suputran kalatram. Okay, so good progeny. So suputran kalatram dhanam dirghamayuhu. Okay, so wealth will be there, dirghayuhu will be there. Labhet skanda sayujyam ante narasaha. So ultimately, so if one keeps reading this with great devotion, then ultimately he will go and merge with that entity Ishvara. Okay, read. Bhujangakhyavrittena kliptam stavam yaha. Pathet bhakti yukto guham sampranamya. Saputran kalatram dhanam dirghamayuhu. Labhet skanda sayujyamante narasaha. Hey, I can tell you my own experience. See, long back, maybe 3 decades, 4 decades back, I don't know, maybe 4 decades back, when I was still a young school boy. So there was one serious problem in the family. The problem was some kind of a fever which never ever could be detected. Again and again, recurring. That person was really suffering. So suddenly it occurred to me that I should go and do this Subrahmanya-bhujanga Parayana. Okay. So then I went and sat in temple with great devotion. Okay. Did the Parayana for a few times. Then it says, no, bhavat patra bhutim vilokya kshanat tarakare dravanti. So when I was much younger, no, so your mind will be more attentive. Okay, much, I mean, school boy maybe, I think so. So with a lot of faith, I went to the temple and then sat in Subrahmanya Sannidhi. And then I came and gave, see, this is Vibhuti, please swear. Okay. So then within 1 or 2 days, that person got relieved. Okay. So with my own experience, I can tell you, this is a very powerful stotra which has been composed by Śaṅkara-bhagavatpada. Okay, so with this we conclude. Om Sarve Pisukhinas Santu, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.